Hey, how are ya? I'm Kieran Dawn, and you're watching the Kieran Dawn channel on YouTube. How are you? That's good. One of my other videos, I took a stab at rugby union, and I just like to clear up. I have nothing against rugby union. I like it. It's just I feel that Australian rugby union is not in a good place at the moment. The TV ratings are down. The Wallabies aren't as good as they were. I mean, I can't remember the last time we beat the All Blacks. It has nothing to do with the coach, Michael Checker. I think he's the best coach for the job. The worst thing the Wallabies did was hire Robbie Dean to do. I think he did a lot of damage to the Wallabies team. I mean, why would he hire a New Zealander, our biggest rival, to be coach of the national team? But anyway, yeah, I think Michael Checker, there's only 4 Super Rugby teams for him to choose from. There's not that many players for him to select, you know. There's 4 Super Rugby teams. There's a few players in Europe, but I don't think European club rugby is that good. And I just want to keep Michael Checker, because I want the headline when we finally beat the All Blacks to be Checker Mate. And there's like a chessboard. I thought it was clever. But yeah, here's my plan to fix rugby union, Australian rugby union. And it's maybe controversial, but here we go. Get the hell out of Super Rugby. I think the whole Super Rugby hype bubble has popped. I'm a bit jealous, a bit angry because they keep getting rid of my favourite teams. I like the Western Force, gone. I like the Cheetahs, gone. I like the Sunwolves, about to be gone. The Brumbies are still around, that's good. They've been my number 1 team for a while, but they always seem to get rid of my second favourite team. Get out of Super Rugby. I think form our own Australian league. That means more clubs, more players to choose from. I think the South Africans have too much power in Super Rugby. They dictate too much. Also, if we get out of Super Rugby and just have a Australian competition, the television time for the games would be better. I mean, when the games are played in South Africa, no one really wants to stay up to the early morning of the hours to watch a very poor Australian team play. I mean, the time zone in New Zealand's not too bad, but, you know, we get smashed there as well because it's the main sport. So here's my plan to start a Australian rugby union league, and we can keep the existing Super Rugby teams. Here's my idea, 10-team competition. First team, I know they're not Australian. I was talking about having Australian teams, but they kind of got screwed by Super Rugby, and they're not too far away. I think have the Sunwolves in our competition. Then the second team will be the Queensland Reds. The third team, ACT Brumbies, yay. Fourth team, Melbourne Rebels. Now, Sydney's the biggest city in Australia, and it's also probably the biggest rugby union market. So I think there's enough room possibly for 2 teams. So the 5th team would be the Northern Sydney Waratahs. They can play out of Brookvale, like Manly or North Sydney, or even further north, like the heartland of rugby union. And the other team could be played. The other team will be the Western Sydney Rams. They can play out of the new Bank West Stadium in Parramatta, or some of the smaller suburban grounds in the west. Now, I don't know if Western Sydney will embrace rugby union, but we move on to that about ticket prices and stuff. But it's worth a shot. Then, so Western Sydney will be 6th. Number 7, Western Force. I don't know why we got rid of the Force. They had a good supporter base. They started playing good football. They got a good stadium, and they bring up players as well. That's the important thing. You want a club to be able to develop players. Then we'll have those teams. On 8, have a team in South Australia, in Adelaide. They can play out of the same stadium as Adelaide United, the A-League team. We can call them Adelaide Blackouts because, you know, there's always a lot of blackouts in Adelaide. The 9th team will be in Tasmania because there's not really any sport to compete with. Like, they play AFL there once in a blue moon. And they have a Big Bash team, but rugby union and Big Bash aren't really at the same time. So have, like, the Tasmanian Devils, lame name, but could be catchy. Then a 10th team, maybe in the Central Coast, you know. They have a stadium there. They have a good stadium. Rugby League hasn't moved there, even though they should have. The Mariners A-League team's not going too well. But yeah, so I have a team there. I think it's further enough away from Sydney to not take fans away. Yeah. Then once that leg's established, make the ticket prices really cheap. Make it like $15 general admission. Because you could argue, oh, we're making a loss, but aren't you making a loss when the stadiums are empty? You know, what is it worth? Then get a television right for free-to-air TV, maybe Channel 10, because, you know, Rugby AFL's on Channel 7, Rugby League's on Channel 9, Rugby Union can be Channel 10. Channel 10 already replays some games that have already been, but maybe do a live deal with Channel 10. Then time zones as well, like no one wants to stay up really late to watch a sport. So maybe have like a 3 o'clock Saturday game, because it works well for the Shoot Shield. Then a 5:30 Saturday game. Then a 7:30 Saturday game. Then on Sunday, have a 2 o'clock game. And a 6 o'clock game. And maybe a Monday night game. Because, you know, Friday night's known for rugby league. Thursday night's rugby league. Monday night football didn't really work for rugby league, but you know it might work for rugby union. It's worth a shot. Yeah, that's my plan. That's my goal. Yeah, I think more teams there are in Australia. There's more players to choose from. Therefore, the Wallabies will be better. Thanks for watching. I'm Kieran Doughton. Kieran Doughton out.